They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox.
Greetings, humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let's go ahead and go around and say hi to everyone we have with us today. See who they are and who they're playing. And we shall start with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Shah Gamelon, who is an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries.
Excellent. Excellent. And now, let us head over to Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde, at Wilde Engineer. I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Cool. If you would go ahead and I think your mic is muted in Meet, so go ahead and if you would unmute that so we can get your captions rolling. So we can take care of that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, my name is Arras, my pronouns are she, they, and today I am playing Arosh Karuzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And now finally, let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, but my character, Mac the Husk, uses they, them pronouns. They are an established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits.
Excellent. So we've had quite a lot happen. Quite a lot of time. A bit of time has passed in real life as we're encountering that most dangerous foe of RPG campaigns everywhere, the holiday season. And so I'm going to do a recap in a moment that will mostly be based on me trying to go back in my mind and remember things. So who knows where that's going to lead. But before that, as a reminder, like we do with other games on this channel, we are going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom video chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, essentially, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. And at any time you can type !ISCW, and that will pop up in the chat. It also will show up in just periodically on its own. Also, please remember, we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. Now, let's see if I can freaking remember what... So, we actually... The funny thing about this is we have like 3 or 4 what happened last times to take care of here. Because everyone was playing in a different iteration of this game for the last... This has been doing that for like the last month.
Nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened at all.
That is the biggest lie that I have ever heard in this game. The bald-faced lie.
So I think what I'm going to do is that old Lazy GM's trick of allowing some of these things to be revealed in character, because some of you are going to be meeting back up again for the first time. So in very broad strokes, there was they're in a space known as the Eternal Party. It's this is not the only Eternal Party known in the actuality, but this is the only one that they have encountered, and it is a basically, in this case, the definition being it's a party that drifts around and never ends. I mean, the other one also kind of follows that as well, but we won't get into that unless we absolutely need to. So, rough things. There was they got into the observatory that kind of helps to operate the party and attach to it, but then it's also has its own a number of its own different applications that it does, which was which was created by Aroshka and with the help of a maker named Gilda, using designs that were actually variations on designs originally created by Shah. There were things that happened. Aroshka does not, in fact, remember most of these a lot of these things that were happening around that time for various reasons, which we'll probably get into at some point again. Some of her memories, a good portion of those memories, as it turns out, are ones that she removed herself before she went into Shadow. Actually, it just occurs to me how terribly clever that was of you, because you kind of could ensure then that you can get those memories back at some point if you so desired, because otherwise with Shadow you're just rolling the dice. But anyway,
the key part there being if they so desire, because they do not so desire, and neither did Vor or Mac, and yet here we are.
Yeah, some of the memories have been seen at this point.
Oops.
Arushka has allowed one of those memories back into her mind, and that is how to operate the observatory. So there were a few issues. As it turned out, the observatory was also being utilized. One of the functions of the observatory, as it turns out, is to detain individuals, dangerous individuals. So Chantineau happened to locate one such individual and make a little bit of a deal with them, possibly. And that being then escaped. Wasn't that big a deal. It's just a void demon. It's probably fine. In so doing, Chantineau got dropped off because it was trying to get more answers about a thing that they're pursuing called the Collapsing Conundrum. They wanted to learn more about it, and they were brought to the sun, where it apparently first is going to emerge, where it is first going to show up. And that is the Gold Sun, as it turns out. The night side of the Gold Sun, to be specific. Chantineau ran into a few different individuals that I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to talk about when things happen shortly. But let's, in very broad strokes, pirates and a very large spider. Whilst on the back of a very large turtle-like being. That has a city on it, also. Chantineau was able to get away from there, owing to another perhaps little deal made with the giant spider, and so we'll be seeing Chantineau again shortly. Arushka and Shah, upon their finally being able to leave the observatory, it seems also either passed into shadow or emerged in a different spot, and we'll figure out which one that is shortly. But Mac and Vor, who is not with us today, emerged into a graveyard that is actually a family plot belonging to the Marlane family, who is the family of the Duchess, who owns the house. So they found where that is. They got into from there into the party, because it was still kind of semi-contained in the party, kind of in the same way that the conservatory is. The conservatory where that gives one entrance to the Mushroom Cave. Mac and Vor had a little chat. They saw Isabel, the host and owner, basically, of the party, person who put the party itself together, and had a chat. Isabel was not terribly happy because of just sort of things that she felt had been kept from her, and realizations perhaps that she had been having. And Vor helped her to remember a thing that had to do with just sort of a thing that I think happened slightly before she and in the past, pre-war, before she and Arushka broke up. And Vor also saw the memory, but I'm very vague. I'm very fuzzy on the memory right now, but we'll see what happens. By the way, I am in the process, just so everyone will know, I'm in the process, as I'm going back and I'm watching all of the episodes, I'm creating a timeline, because I have to do that now, because so many visions and memories have popped up. I'm creating a timeline that I can put all of these different memories on, and all these different visions on, so that I can figure out when things happened before the war, and when things that haven't happened yet are kind of supposed to happen. And maybe that will help. It's going to be a long-term project. We'll see what happens. There's so much. There's so much. The recipe book also is going to be huge. Because I'm going back through there and writing those down also.
Well, depends. Depends on how many of those I can turn into real food.
That's true. We have to figure that out. But the list is growing ponderous. I may have to may have to. This may be a team effort where we have to each take sections or figure out, or one or any if any. Is anyone particularly good at cocktails? Because
I volunteer for all cocktail recipes.
I can once I have a complete list of the drinks, I can send you that. But I digress. So there's a lot of stuff in the background. This campaign's been going on for a while. In any case, so they talked to they talked to Isabel, and they revealed, and Isabel was like, okay, well, maybe I can at least try to start getting the getting things ready for the tether. And they were like, well, Eroshka locked the door on the way out, and Isabel was like, of course she did. I was like, okay, hang on, I'll go see if I can talk to the door and if it'll let me in. And so she stormed off, somewhat perturbed, not angrily, but somewhat perturbed, back in the direction of the graveyard. Where perchance they also had noticed some things perhaps that might be moving around, but they weren't sure. It wasn't a big deal. In any case, they then, Mac and Vor then went on to back to the Mushroom Cave via the conservatory, to try to fulfill their end of the bargain, which they did. The mushrooms offered them additional horrible, evil power and stuff if they wanted to make further deals, and they did not do that. But they gave them the two Insidious, and so they then the mushrooms then fulfilled their part of the agreement. They disappeared from that portion of the cave to allow them to then use that spot as a fulcrum to make an anchor for the party, which they could do at some point now if they so desire. Still, of course, on the docket, things that have not yet been resolved involved the if they want to go back and track down the Sistrurus Queen, who was behind the Insidious showing up in the town of Yestervale, or indeed the two Vizsli that were attacking them periodically during this whole thing. One being named Hester, the other being named Balak, and who has committed a mortal assault on the very concept of brunch. And so there are perhaps grudges there. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen. We'll find out. So
it was unforgivable.
It was unforgivable. I'm going to draw a card to see how we're going to place everyone and everything as we start things out once again. I think I've drawn the Swan card. Let me see. Yes, I have. All right. That is card number 28. That is the Swan. Let me go ahead and bring that over here. It is a companion card, which I shall look at the rules for in a moment. Let me pull those up so that I have that in front of me. Duplicates previously. I don't know, so that's not a big deal. Okay. The Swan card, as a quick reminder, let me see. Yes. It's a Visions card, which means that Shantanu and Eroshka currently are, because it's keyed to your heart, Shantanu and Eroshka currently have bonuses. But for this scene, for as long as this card's turned, briefly, its meanings are good fortune, good weather, latent talents. Elegant and serene, the Swan is the companion card of the Visions family. It's a harbinger of luck, in particular said to bring calm, favorable weather with it wherever it goes. But as many someones have said, we make our own luck. In this case, the swan represents that as well. In the midst of a challenge, someone displays a talent or an affinity or even a magical ability they didn't know they had. When this happens, it's sometimes called the Swan Event. This is a card suggesting good fortune. The winds of fate blow favorably for the person in question and the path that lies before them. Rarely, however, it is deeper than that. The swan and its resultant swan events can suggest that one might have a talent that has so far been unrecognized even by the person in question. That talent is the key to moving forward and succeeding at some upcoming challenge. But how does one discover such a thing? All right. So,
I'm not sure I would ever describe swans as serene.
it's fair. It's fair. So, we're going to say that, yes, I think this is what we're going to say. Shantanu, do you like remote-controlled boats? Little ones?
I don't know if they personally would.
Yeah, do they have any use for that kind of thing?
Maybe if they went super tiny and riding in one.
Good answer.
That sounds adorable.
Excellent. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Good. So, I think that what's going to happen is that Mac, you and Vor had gone back into the party to hang out for a little bit, and you sort of found yourselves in this sort of in this. It's an indoor thing where it's this room, sort of big room that sort of has this artificial pond in the middle of it. Actually, it's not really even an artificial pond because it's a big, it's almost like a big sort of pool almost, but it's fairly shallow. It comes up to about waist height. The sides of the thing. But it's got a rock facade around it so that it looks as though it's there in nature, right? And the walls have like trees painted on them. Big room, sort of domed. And there are a few partygoers here that are operating remote-controlled boats along the as these things go. One of the interesting things that you will note as you're sort of wandering in here is that Vor has once again sort of faded out back into the gray as you sort of were getting your bearings, and you're going to see there are a number of, there's also artificial, the floor, it's a little tacky, the floor has artificial grass on it, because again, you're indoors, and lawn chairs, and you're going to spot just sort of fading in, because it feels as though, Shah and Aroshka, as you were leaving the observatory, it felt like there was a weird sort of shift kind of in the dimensions. You saw that there was this big sort of crypt door opening up ahead of the four of you. And then as you were trying to sort of slip through, there was a sort of like sort of space did this a little bit, basically, if that makes sense. Space wobbled a little bit. And now you've sort of finding yourselves appearing in a couple of lawn chairs. And there is the sounds of recorded nature seems to be playing from somewhere. Mac, you will see you will see them appear in these lawn chairs, and I think when one of the remote-controlled boats comes around, Chantineau, you will, from your vantage point, spot them, all three of them as well. which can happen as soon as you like. Because you got here actually a little while ago, and you've been riding the boats for some time. So this is where, yes, so you're walking in and you see them appearing.
Well, I guess I have impeccable timing as always.
I guess I'll just kind of look confused. And I feel like in the process of going through this weird time-space wibbly-wobbly, like Shaw's ended up with this big kind of sun hat to go with the lawn chair, but for a veil, it's got like chainmail that comes across it. I'm just sort of like, and something makes a lot of jingly noises as I throw the hat off. Sit up and look around. Did I miss anything?
Oh, well, Vor, and he gestures at the empty space next to him. Vor and I just turned in the Insidious. Yeah. Managed to stay safe through those regards, but, there really wasn't a whole lot else that went on. We walked through the cemetery. It was rather pleasant.
Well, that sounds very nice. Is the party stable?
I don't think so. I mean, we just negotiated the space for it. I think now it's time for Laroshka and whoever to actually anchor it now. Mac looks very expectantly at Laroshka.
Yeah. Shaw turns, puts her hands on her hips. So what do we do next, boss?
Does Aroshka actually know the answer to this question?
Well, you know how to anchor. Yeah. I mean, you know how the you know how the observatory works. So, yeah, you know how to make an anchor. Yeah.
I guess we need to go back to the observatory. Again. And do stuff there.
Oh. Okay. I feel like we just left.
Do we need to get any more equipment or supplies, or is everything there? By the way, has anyone ever seen Chantineau? I feel like it's now gotten past the point in time in which we should be worried.
No.
Point
no
of clarification.
idea.
Worried for their safety as well as, well, the safety of the world.
We have to clarify.
Hey, they did say they'd be back, right?
Did they say anything before they left?
I think they did, didn't they? They said something about they'll come back. They'll get back. Was it like eventually, or as soon as they can, or I can't remember.
So something to that effect.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
as y'all are talking, you'll probably see Chantineau just ride up on a small boat, and as they're getting out the boat, they I don't know how does it look when Chantineau goes from small to big. Probably similar to like when you see like ice crystals form. It looks like that, but with glass as they kind of increase in size to their more normal size.
Yeah. Chantineau, something though that you will notice that is different now is Mac now has a portion of their face that is now seems to be transparent. It's the so I believe it's the right eye area, if I recall correctly. Part of the head.
Exciting new souvenir.
Oh. I see I'm not the only one who's been going through changes.
Yes, well, in retrospect, maybe attaching my Testament of Sons to a vessel containing Eroshka's memories was not a very good idea.
Sorry.
You attached yourself to a vessel? Cool. I'm gonna attach myself to a demon.
I'm sorry, what?
So that explains the empty platform in which, that void demon was released from.
I don't know if they were released. I mean, they definitely got out.
Were you there when it got out?
Yes?
Did you do anything, to prevent it from getting out?
I mean, it's a demon. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, maybe a more pointed question. Did you happen to do anything or not do anything to make it easier for it to get out? When you say you attached yourself to it, is that perhaps what you mean?
It may or may not have helped it. It's something that happened.
It happened before or after the demon got out?
Yes. Simultaneously. But I did manage to complete our task for... God damn it, I just remembered the name. Oh, I lost it.
Igthamad.
There you go, Igthamad. So
Voice God King.
we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about any fallback from that anymore.
But maybe we have to worry about the demon that Pasta seemed to have put there that is now no longer there.
It's fine. It went towards the Golgon side of things. So I'm sure we don't have to worry about it.
I'm fairly certain that's not how these things work out.
I mean, if anything, it seems like there's other demons and gods that know of it and can possibly keep it in check.
I'm sorry, did you mention that there's the presence of another demon involved in this?
How many demons are we up to?
Was another demon, right? Jim?
You encountered a being that was very dark. But you know enough about the enough magical lore to know that it was. I think you actually knew who it was. Probably it was the guardian of the night side of the gold.
Yeah.
That was
Gold.
So yeah, it's not strictly speaking a demon. But it did seem kind of friendly with the demon a bit. So yeah, that was. If you want the name, I'll grab the name real quick. Also,
Maybe there's another demon. I'm not exactly sure. And I don't know if it matters here and there, but the gold might be right. So...
Yeah. That entity's name, the guardian of the night side of gold, is Corazon. You did see another entity, more sort of void creatures, sort of seeming to start to go towards this to start going in and perhaps orbiting around or towards something orbiting around the silver sun. You're not sure what that was, but you were very far away, so you couldn't quite make out what that was. Don't know if those were demons or not. Definitely void entities, though.
Fun.
And so all in all, everything went well?
It doesn't sound like it.
No,
It
no.
sounds like you solved one problem and created many more.
I mean, I'm not saying I created another problem.
Just that you're
But-
responsible for it,
No.
whether you want to admit it or not.
The problem would have happened whether I was there or not.
I don't think that's true. That's not the way that life works.
I mean, I was there when the demon escaped, and it was pretty much going to happen whether I was there or not.
So how did it escape?
Broke the chain.
It broke the chains.
How did they just break the chains all of a sudden? I mean, it was imprisoned there for some time.
It's quite obvious it's been working on it for a while. And I don't know, at some point it just seemed to shatter and then escape the rest of the way.
What seemed to shatter?
The demon.
Even shot?
Did it shatter like you? Did you teach it how to shatter?
I didn't teach it anything, I just figured it out.
Why did it figure it out though?
I don't know. All I know is I had to get a bit of a torn, and that's what I did.
Shantano, I like you, and I've known you for a long time, but I feel very much like when I'm trying to talk to one of Karen's kids about what they've been up to, and they just try to talk around it and around it and around it. No, I didn't pull up your rose bush. I'm sure that the rose bush just got pulled up. I don't know what happened, but I'm just here and have thorns in my hand, but surely it wasn't me. Could you explain to me why I'm getting that impression, other than that is an entirely correct impression?
No. I mean, whether you believe me or not, the demon escaping was unavoidable.
So it's okay that you helped the demon escape because it was unavoidable? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it was inevitable, and it happened anyways. I just happened to complete my mission concurrently.
That doesn't sound right.
I mean, I'm sure we could go back and check out the chain to see that it was going to escape.
You mean to say that we need we should be going out there into the void?
No, just the platform.
To a platform in the void.
I mean, I came back fine.
Did you?
There's only a little bit of me missing.
I will say, Arushka, it occurs to you, you think, if you recall correctly, that you can examine the chains from the observatory. You don't actually have to go out there. You can reel them back in.
We don't actually have to. We can bring the chains to us
No.
to confirm. I can't confirm. I know. You can confirm.
Well, I guess we have to go to the observatory anyway.
It's true.
Shaw whips around and points her finger at Shantano and says, "You stay where I can see you."
Most of me will.
Oh boy.
Going great. Anyways, let's go back to the observatory. Yeah.
Right. But I'm not crawling in a vent again.
We can go in the front door this time. I remembered about it.
The front door.
Well, that it exists and also how to open it.
So, as they're walking, Mac is just going to slow down and walk next to Shaw and just, ask, so, could you theoretically cage a void demon?
Cage a void demon.
Yeah, like say this void demon, decides to come after us, and
I don't want to say that I can't. But it would be very, 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 very challenging and perhaps beyond the capacity of the cage. Also, at some point, she whispers, we have to deal with the fact that I still have this cultist in the cage.
Right back.
They're not dead yet?
No, am I supposed to kill him?
I mean, I thought that was inevitable.
Can we overhear this?
We're not being super secret about it, so.
Well, you put them on the platform. That's where you put things you don't want to think about, right?
I don't know. Something made for Void Demon is quite. It might be a little overkill for a human person.
How do you know that for sure?
I don't. Just guessing. I mean, I guess maybe I do know. I put the Void Demon there.
Well, you don't remember doing it.
That doesn't mean anything.
Because, I mean, you know that it's capable of holding. You're pretty sure that the as you're thinking about it, and as Jim rushes over to the appropriate tab, you're pretty sure that the detention spike depends on it depends on how powerful the being is. But the detention spike, at least when the observatory had a constant power source, probably would have been able to hold most things. You think? You might have had to tried to maybe possibly reroute things, or possibly you might have actually. Thing is, you're thinking about it. There might have been like a spell or something that you cast at the time, also, if you needed to boost it. If you needed to boost the detention spike, you're not sure what spell you would have cast because you no longer have that knowledge. You know that. Yeah, usually, as you kind of vaguely recall your operations of the machine, of the observatory, some of it was just the controls, and some of it you needed to sometimes use magic to kind of enhance what was going on. If you were trying to do particularly difficult things. And then later on, and because this is where things get the most fuzzy, but you think later on you just started talking to the controls, and they helped you out. So that was also a way that kind of helped you to make things work. Sometimes if you needed to do something besides just operate the controls, if there was, something you need to put any special effort into. You might have done a combination of all three of those things at some point. Possibly. It's very fuzzy.
Well, I guess when we get there, I can ask the controls if I put it there.
I also don't think the purpose of capturing the cultist was to forget about it. I think that our purpose was in case we needed to ask them more questions.
I mean, do we still need the cultists? We could just let them go, I guess.
Well, hang on. I mean, we don't want to let the cultists go, because then they'll just go back to their cult and, you know,
Yeah, we don't need
maybe leak our weaknesses to them.
Do they know our weaknesses? We kind of beat them.
Well, I mean, we haven't been exactly low profile as of late.
That's true.
I do think I remember shooting ourselves out of cannons towards them or something to that effect.
What is this?
One thing the cultists will be able to have in their report is that papier-mâché cats have absolutely no effect on this group. That's what they'll remember.
Hey.
The cannon was, there was also to get it where they were, which was they were under the members of what looked like the same cult. Were in the big machine underneath that we were able to access from underneath the big top of the night circus.
I still don't recall any weed though. I thought it was just.
Oh well, yeah, Shantano was the only one who actually got fired out of a cannon.
What weed is this?
Yeah.
That was my idea. Admittingly.
Yeah, the cultist in the cage is from the train. Not from the circus. Isn't he?
It was from the train.
Well,
that's right.
Yeah.
Arguably, possibly the same cult. Well, it depends, because you
Possibly
remember
the
that
same
you're
cult.
the cultist that you have then admitted to being actually a plant from the Vespertine,
Right.
who was a spy in the organization, the Church of Midnight. You
Right.
know that down below there were other cultists that you saw dressed similarly to the cultists in the Church of Midnight. You saw those in the big machine. But yeah, that is I think what you know at this point.
So maybe we should take him to the Church of Midnight and go from there. But maybe we should fix the party first.
Yes, let us do
I'm just saying, no, I should not try to put the void demon in the cage, and I definitely shouldn't do it while the cultist is in there, because then the cultist will come out and will be distracted with the void demon, and I'll probably fail at capturing the void demon because I'm just not that good of a gambler yet, and then we'll have both of them.
Well, I believe in you.
Yeah, you're the best. Didn't you capture that giant clock time thing?
I did. And she looks really deeply troubled.
Did you consume it and gain even more power from it?
The clock demon? The clock demon died. There are ways for things in the cage to die, you see. It's just, it takes some effort, and it's wrong.
Well, I suppose this isn't really a good time to discuss or explore moral boundaries.
Can we go to the observatory?
Yeah, you're almost there.
We're almost there. We're walking and talking. It's a very
we've initiated Sorkin mode.
Yes.
But yes, you have made it into the throne room. This big sort of yellow throne room with pillars, nicely appointed. There are a couple of chairs that are cordoned off by this wooden railing, and Mac's the only one who actually knows where to go. Mac is heading for a tapestry on the wall, God damn, I have a question that you don't have to answer right now, but that Jim is curious about something Shah just said. About the design of the cage possibly causing a person to die and that it's wrong. All I'm wondering about is, did Shah always believe that?
Did Shah always believe that it was wrong?
Yes.
Like in the grand scheme of time or in the time of this game?
And, well, yeah, it doesn't have to be during this, it could be before this game started. And again, you don't have to answer me right this second if you're not sure.
I can tell you right now that pre-Shadow Shah did not feel that way. That she didn't have the same sort of boundary lines. And that her time in the Shadow as a medic, as a combat medic, in and of itself was an atonement for her understanding of how valuable each life is.
Cool. Okay. So you're going to make it over to where the tapestry is, and Mac presumably will pull the tapestry back, and you'll see that there's a doorway, and I need to pull another card. Okay. Huh. This is one of those tricky ones. All right. Let me go ahead and activate it here so we can see it. This is card number 22. This is the Eternal Mountain. It's a Visions family still. So we're still in Visions. Its meanings are unchanging, solitude, memory, eternal, long life. The mountain stands alone and unchanging. It always has and it always will. Some find this compelling, others terrifying. The mountain sees all and never forgets what it has seen. Eternal Mountain is the location card of the Visions family. In divination, a challenge that lies ahead is insurmountable. Conversely, if one is on the defense, one can weather any storm, any assault, or any ill fate. Eternal Mountain in general predicts a long life, but it can also suggest that one should move forward alone, particularly to better reflect upon the past. Okay. Interesting. So, this is a green card. So green magic is up, pale magic is down. Let me turn on the green sun. If I can click on the right thing.
Oh, can I help this cat?
And there we go.
No.
All right. Interesting. Okay. You are going to emerge. Oh, I've already used that name. Let me use a different name. Yeah, we'll go with that. No, that's too similar to another one. Damn it. What about this one? You ever start actually, when you start compiling your NPC list, you suddenly get to see what names you've already used. Okay, here we go. So you have gone through what seems like an outside door that takes you to this sort of thick woods with a path going through down a slope. As you do this, you see that the path sort of winds, and it's again the dimensions are a little distorted, which is another indicator that this place has been sort of co-opted by the party. As you are heading down this sort of little winding path, it takes you around to, you see gates up ahead of you, these cemetery gates that are currently standing open. In this wall, this big stone wall. And you hear what sounds like sort of a clanging sound coming from inside. And you hear what sounds like just sort of voices that are sort of raised a bit.
Inside the cemetery?
From inside the cemetery, yes. You hear one voice screaming out, "Come out of there, damn you!" And this clanging, and then you hear another voice that is you recognize as Isabel's, saying, "If you get this, if you unmoor us right now, I swear to Vizsla, I am going to end you."
Uh-oh. I'm gonna run forward and see if I can be helpful.
So, as you come
Isabel, for the record. Helpful to Isabel, just to be clear.
Certainly.
Only one of these two people do I care about. So,
as you run in and you enter the cemetery, it's a family plot that has a number of gravestones and a few statues and some tombs toward the back, and sort of more of there's kind of a very large central tomb. As Mac recalls, the tomb that lets you into the observatory is actually a little bit smaller and toward the back, but of the cemetery. But it is sort of more at this main tomb that was one that was sort of, there was some noises sort of coming from that direction earlier. You see the Duchess, who is at present, she is still clad in the same garments that she normally wears, a sort of very gauzy type thing. Let me actually pull her up here just for the audience. This sort of very elegant sort of white and gold dress, and a big sort of headdress, and she is her veil is off, so you can see her. So you can see her desiccated head, and she is carrying a big scythe that.
Wow.
Only Mac has seen her wielding before. Mac, you saw her earlier as she, right after Vor told her how to get to the cemetery. She is using this scythe to kind of trying to, sort of one end of it, to try to wedge open this tomb. That's like, seems to be, the door is kind of near closed, and there's this little sort of purplish light pouring out from it. And she's trying to get at it, and doesn't seem to be having much success. Isabel looks as though she has been she's like kind of half lying, half sitting across this another tombstone, kind of a big wide tombstone, a bit of a ways from the Duchess, and so that's kind of the scene that you have before you.
Mac is just going to call it. So, a bit of family trouble there?
And Isabel just sort of looks up and says, "There's someone's barricaded themselves in there."
In the tomb?
Yeah.
Is this the entrance?
And it's not the direct entrance to, it's not the entrance to the observatory, so it's a different tomb.
Oh, okay.
But from what you know, well, actually, you don't know this. Mac does, but the thing being that you see the Duchess just sort of like going at it, trying to wedge the thing open, and she's not having any success. She's just sort of like this. This is some sort of, I don't know, some kind of, there's Isabel will sort of come be like, come here. She just. I was in here looking for the entrance, and she just came in and started, and then there was someone else in here, and she drove them back into that tomb, and has been yelling at him, and using some kind of, I don't know exactly what that scepter is, but it's not that scepter. I don't know exactly what that scythe is, but it's not a normal scythe, okay?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Her having, and she's swinging that thing around here. I'm a little concerned she's going to end up cutting through something, or that some sort of that there's going to be some sort of reaction that's going to affect the tether.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that scythe is meant for reaping dead family members. I think that's the way it was explained to me. But why would anyone barricade themselves in the tomb? And Mac is just going to go past and lean up against the tomb and look at the Duchess. I'm like, having a little bit of a spat here, huh?
I need to pull up a thing real quick, so that I shall have it before me. Let's see, which one was it? I think it was teratology. Let's see. Where is it? Where Is it? No. No. I hope it was in here. Maybe it isn't. There it is. Okay. Yes. Okay. So. Yeah, you note, Mac, as you get up close to the Duchess, that there is this strange sort of barrier around her that the Scythe seems to be generating. So you can still go and lean up against the tomb, but you can't get too close to her physically right now. She's like, yeah, and she's just like, let me see here. You're trying to get her to calm down and talk to you. Yeah. And she's just basically as she's continuously still trying to hit the thing, so sometimes it's, she's been hitting with the butt end of the scythe, trying to wedge the thing open, and she's like, he thinks he's going to get away, but he's not going to.
Who exactly?
And she's like, again, sort of hitting, and then she's like, she says, Otto!
I'm sorry, I'm going to need a little more context than Otto.
She's going to just be like, let me see. Will she listen? She seems to be. Yeah, I think that actually we're going to need to do a roll here, so let me see here. The Duchess currently inflamed, or enraged anyway. Let me actually find the thing here. So she's level 4. She has a +1 to social interaction. So right now but I think that she is very exasperated right now. So I'm gonna not count the social interaction bonus. So it's level 4 right now to get her to try to actually calm down for a second and talk to you about this.
All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to use one of my forte abilities as he hastily runs through his notes. Okay. So, Mac is just going to bow his head for a moment, fold his hands, and he's going to invoke Spirit of the Orator.
Okay.
In which the spirit of a renowned orator will enter his mind, their mind, and assist with everything he is going to say. So this becomes an equivalent of 3 enhancements to his interaction pool.
All right. So it just gives you additional Benny. Do you want to spend one of those on this?
Yes.
Okay. So that'll bring it down to a 3.
That's all I got.
Okay.
So we did not make a Mac a diplomat.
Okay. But you summon forth an orator to help you speak about this. And anyone watching,
Oh my
that's
God.
interesting. By the way, what does it
Oh
look
my
like?
gosh.
Anyone who, if anyone, can anyone see you from the side of your
Yeah,
of
if they
your head
see
that has the-
if they see from the right side, you'll probably see the space fills with it becomes like human-ish again, but it's filled with someone who clearly does not have the same skin color as him. It looks very weird, weirder than the fact that glass, but I guess in that place is a the eye of a much older person who has some level of gravitas to their presentation, which is apparent in Mac's body language.
All right. So. Do. So I'm going to award you a despair. As this happens, she turns and you see her eyes are fiery, and as you try to talk her down, and she says, "This is a family matter," and she brings the scythe down, and this force surrounding her blasts outward and throws you across this little family plot, and you smash into a statue that then topples down and falls on the far side of the family plot.
So it's like a graveyard, like a tombstone statue.
Yeah.
Is it like one of their family members with like wings sculpted onto its back, like as if it was some sort of angel?
It is indeed.
Yeah. So there's probably some irony in this, as Mac is now pinned underneath a gravestone angel.
Yep. So this is what you all see happening. And she is now she's setting the scythe down, and she's like, all right, we're going to do this the hard way then. And she's starting to do something, chanting or something, and she's holding the scythe up, and she's starting to do something with it, as though she's starting to try to cut into the tomb. But not in a way that's like, you shouldn't be able to, it's just a scythe. But, when it hits stone, that would, blunt it. But she's doing something, possibly, ritualistic or something else. Actually, Shantanu, you have magical lore. You'd probably have an idea that, at least a vague idea, as you're coming in, you're seeing this. First off, the one thing, Shantanu, you're aware of is that scythe is one of those one of a kind objects. You think probably it's it's definitely is sort of it's a kind of an object of power, of sort, possibly even one of the more powerful versions of that I need to go back and remember what those are called, like artifact level or what have you, it doesn't belong here. It belongs in the Pale, you think. That scythe. The scythe is not hers. But she seems to know how to use it. And what it looks like she's doing, as far as you can tell, is she's going to try to use the scythe to sidestep this stone door on the front of this tomb. Basically, you think that she's about to try to cut a little bit into the fabric of reality, here, to try to get in. You're not sure what that's going to do. If it's close to the entrance to the observatory, if that'll mingle in an interesting or strange way, but it might. Anyway, what's everyone doing?
Well, Mac isn't doing much of anything. You'll probably just see his hand weakly raise from underneath the angel, and it'll just shake and, hold up a number 1 as an I think I'm okay, but then you'll just see it slide back down onto the earth.
Oh my god.
Oh no. With what understanding I have of the observatory and the party and how everything is anchored in place, how dire do I think this moment is?
Here's the thing. You ever use sharp objects, sort of just flail them around close to delicate machinery held together with rubber bands?
Yeah. Got it.
Kind
That
of like
dire.
that.
Awesome. Okay, I want to do a thing. I don't know which thing to do. Yeah, I feel like this might be dire enough that I might just throw an incantation at it to knock everything out of place. But the incantation that I have is the ground shakes violently for 1 round, affecting everything near you. Is that just gonna have the same, like, is the percussion of shaking as likely to injure this as the flailing scythe, or is that less risky?
That's interesting.
It does say structures suffer damage.
Yeah, there's a chance that it could also potentially dislodge the entrance from this space. It's as to whether it's more likely than the scythe, you're not entirely sure. You'd have to take a look at the scythe in order to better identify exactly what the hell it is. But if the scythe is doing, and I don't know how much Shantano is sharing at this point of the whole spatial thing. But if it's if you're looking at this thing, it's a magic scythe, clearly. So it's some kind of special magic scythe, and so if it's doing something messed up with space at all, then the scythe itself is probably slightly more dangerous than causing an earthquake. But the earthquake is still quite dangerous.
But she's shielded, so I can't push her in any way.
Not directly, no. I mean, the earthquake. I mean, she is standing on the ground, so I mean, the earthquake might.
Okay, then I'm gonna go for the. And unless somebody, I'm gonna look around, and unless Aroshka looks like she's doing something.
I think I could anyways. Yeah, I could. I mean, I could use Devilate again, which is the thing that I bind a being in short range. It says I bind them with conjured coils of rope and draining them of their will to struggle, fight, or do anything but remain still and quiet.
I love that. That seems like a better idea than me wrecking this graveyard. I'm here to create chaos if you need me.
It's a level 6 spell and +1 die, so I just have to roll it.
All right. So, the Duchess once again has. So let me just check 1 or 2 things. Okay. So she has +2 to resist, so that would bump it up to a 6. And then let me double check something about the scythe. Real quick. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna, unless this is the source of that. So the scythe I think was gonna bump it up to a +3 to resist, so it's actually gonna be a 7 for a magic for you to cast magic to affect her right now. So that'll be.
Is that?
And so you've got a level 6 effect, which will mean it'll be 1 or better. Basically, is what you'd be looking at.
I like those odds.
You could also, it occurs to you, you could ask If you really want to, you can ask Isabel to help you with spell support on this, but that's up to you if you want to have that conversation or not.
Do we have time to have that conversation?
It'd probably be down to like a glance and like,
I guess I will glance in Isabel's direction and hopefully, I don't know, see what happens. But I'm going to do it either way, even if Isabel like doesn't understand my eye contact or intentionally ignores my eye contact.
Well,
I fully recognize that she's mad at me and is probably fully justified in that.
under the circumstances, I think she probably is grasping what you're about to do, but let's go ahead and roll and see what happens.
Okay. So remember if I can, what is it? R
So you need a 1 or better on 2 dice.
Oh, 2 dice, right.
So
Nope, that was wrong. Wait, how is it?
/R space 2d10. I think you have to put the
I got it this time.
Okay.
Woo!
Excellent. Okay. So, what does this look like?
We've done this before, and it is basically like kind of not actually physically existent chains, because they're not real. They're like made of power, basically. Just like sort of snake up out of nowhere and wrap around the Duchess.
You know what I utterly forgot? What color does it say that spell is? Not that that'll change anything here, but...
Blue.
Blue, okay. Yeah, you're good. No difference. Also, actually, we've still got a... I forget, and it's a visions card. We've still got a visions card in play, I believe. So yeah, it's even so. You're still, yeah.
Wow.
So you didn't even necessarily have to roll. But
well.
Yeah. So chains. These, what is it? Ropes. They come out and they
It can be
entangle
ropes.
the
This
Duchess.
is ropes or chains, but they're not like, they don't
Chains?
really exist in like the physical sense. They're like energy.
Okay. So they just are they wrapping completely around the Duchess? Is that
Yep, and she loses the will to do anything but sit still and be quiet.
Okay. So they wrap around her, and she's sort of taken off her. I think because you did as well as you did, and also to reflect this bonus that you had that I utterly forgot. She's going to drop the scythe.
Ooh.
And she gets knocked off her. The force of the spell knocks her off her feet, and she's just sort of like tumbles over for a second, and ends up sort of in a sitting position. She just sort of sits up, and she just sort of is like. You see that you can see her just sort of like, and she just sort of sags her head.
I'm gonna apologize to her and be like, I'm gonna apologize to her and be like, not that I'm actually trying to stop your family, whatever's happening, but just the observatory is right here, and that would have been really bad. So yeah.
You don't understand. He's going to... He's in there. He's going to do something.
What?
Because I didn't come back in time to stop him.
Can I go over to the door of the tomb and ask it if it can please open for us?
You go up to the door of the tomb, and it's like, well, I am under strict instructions not to open for anyone save Master Otto.
I'm gonna do the equivalent of batting my eyelashes out, except it's an object, so I fully acknowledge that I can't see this, so it's like spiritually.
A spiritual batting of the eyelashes.
I'd be like, not even for me? Essentially.
Let's see.
Sorry, I just marvel at this approach and how much it contrasts the approach that OG Eroshka would have had.
To be fair, yeah.
This is the nicer Eroshka.
Yeah. And actually, for a second, you just sort of see Isabel, her arms crossed for a moment as she sort of was making ready with the thing, and then she crosses her arms and she's watching and just sort of has that very distinct look as she's watching Eroshka of just like, why didn't you just blast the door open? But...
I'm gonna pull out a glove, like a welding glove from my tool bracer, and pick up the scythe so that it's away.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna head over towards where Mac is to help him out from underneath the statue.
Yes. That's probably a good idea.
What a good friend who remembers.
Shaw will see that Mac is vainly trying to draw a little tiny summoning circle with his finger.
I will let. We need Eroshka to now roll this. So it's gonna be. It's okay. So it's not directly Otto. It's Otto's door. So I'm only gonna do a challenge of 4 on this.
I have, for skills, I have charm, narrative, and also persuasion.
Okay, so charm and persuasion will definitely help. So that'll knock it down to a 2 or better.
I'm gonna go for it.
And you also note that this, as you're talking to the door, you do see that the name on this tomb is Otto Marline. It's a Duke Otto Marline.
Oh, so he's dead.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's see. Yay!
Okay, no, it's absolutely, the door's like, well, all right.
All objects love me.
Yeah. Since you put it like that, I suppose it can't do them. Now that his sister ain't scratching at this thing so much, I suppose it'll be all right.
His sister. Now that the door's opening, I'm gonna let the Duchess go.
Oh, you're gonna let her go? Oh,
yeah, I didn't want to get in the way of her stopping whatever is going on. I just didn't want her to use the scythe because it was gonna blow stuff up.
Okay.
Oh God.
Oh no. So
she doesn't have the scythe anymore, right? We took it from her.
Shah has the scythe right now. Yes.
I will stand between the Duchess and Shah.
The door.
And look menacing.
The door
Very
is
good at being
sliding
menacing.
open, sort of that sort of stone on stone sound. And you see the Duchess is being freed, and she's like, oh my god, oh my god. She's getting to her feet. As she does so, inside the tomb, you see that there is, it's a fairly big tomb, and you see there's this stone table along one of the walls that has like a bunch of what looks like various little glowing bits of equipment of some kind on it, little sort of vials and like looks like alchemical equipment. And you see a figure draped in a black cloak who's like who's just finishing drawing something on the ground inside the tomb, the floor of the tomb. Stands up just around themselves. Stands up, dramatically throws his cape back. You see, it is a dead person with long black hair. And he's holding a beaker in his hand with a slightly glowing liquid as he does so, and he's wearing this kind of a sort of a black sort of tunic type deal, semi-medieval looking, and there's this, but with the sort of a with a family crest on it, and this sort of kind of the thing, rich person's tunic, the kind of thing one might be buried in, and you see as he looks up over at the Duchess, as she's getting up and she's now trying to run toward him. He's like, quite impressive, my dear, but you're a bit too late, I'm afraid. And he throws the vial down. And there is a puff of you see a puff of this big purple smoke coming up from the confines of this circle. Is anyone doing anything?
Oh, wait.
Mac is going to attempt to summon extra help to free him from from this mess. He's going to try to call up Sir Godfrey. Okay,
that's going to take you a moment if you're if you're doing the drawing the circle and all that. Unless you want to use your the new ability that a new ability that your testament has, which is you could just grab a level 1.
If he could reach his testament right now, he probably would. But I'm going to say that he doesn't.
Okay.
And he's probably going to need a much higher level spirit to assist, given what he's hearing.
Okay, so you're starting to do that, and looking at this also just off the top of your head, Shantanu, as you look at this, you're thinking as he's probably transporting out, and that is in fact what is happening.
Is this? Can I use counter spell? Is this a spell? Could I?
This is a. It's a bit of an odd way to cast one, but yes, he is using. Yeah.
Dash forward and attempt to counterspell this?
Yeah.
What level is it?
Well, let me see.
Yeah.
Because counterspell only works on level 1 or 2.
Okay, let me check the let me check our old friend, the effects by level table.
Yay!
Okay, so yeah, it's not exactly. This isn't going to send him anywhere, just anywhere. So it's not a huge high-level spell. Let me see if I can find.
He's trying to go somewhere specific.
Yeah. Let's see. Telepathy definitely. Sorry, hinder creature's movement. I think it's going to be. But I think it's going to be more than. I think it's going to be more than like a level 2. just from what I'm seeing on the effects by level table here. Move a very long distance instantly is level 4. And I suspect that is actually what is going on here. So, yeah, this is a level 4 spell. So the counter spell you have is that a is that one of your, is that from like the deck of spells, or is this a
It's an apostate ability.
It's an apostate ability.
But it says, and as an action, cast a counter spell that unravels and dispels one active ongoing spell or magical effect as level 1 or level 2. The cost for the counter spell is the same as the cost for the original spell. And I was like, I wonder if I can increase that, because I have a bunch of points I haven't spent yet. But I checked, and if you already have counter spell, then taking it again increases the maximum number of spells you can affect, not the level of the spell. So I think it's always level 1 or 2.
Let me go to the I'm just double checking the thing.
Can you cast your chain? Can you cast your chains again? Because you just uncast it.
It was 6. I have 8 sorcery, which is a lot, but
yeah,
it's not
need a round of refresh.
Yeah, it looks like counter spell. I think that is level 1 or level 2. Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be more than is typically permitted. We can try to, however, do something experimental if you like.
Sure.
To try to counter or affect it otherwise. The 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. All of the instances of the word counterspell appear only on the apostate page. Interesting. Okay. So if you want to try to, like, this would be basically trying to bend the magic in a slightly different direction to see if you can at least try to figure it out. I think this is going to be just one of those more spontaneous things where you are words. Grab the words, Jim. Let me go to the page so that I have the words in front of me, because the words are helpful. Let's see. There we go. Where is it? It's the thing. Pool sheet. There it is. So that I have that information. Okay. So if you want to spend like a sortilege, then you can try to turn that into another thing, basically. I think, or we can attempt it.
Willing to try.
And again, I think again, if you want, do you try to give Isabel a look to implore her for help on this, or no?
Sure. Let's just say I glance in Isabel's general direction a lot, because I'm used to, like, I think because of some of my memories have returned, I'm sort of like remembering, constantly relying on Isabel, and
she's like, and so she's trying to help boost what you're doing. So that's gonna knock the difficulty down by 1. Typically, so it's you're trying to counter a level 4 effect. And what does the apostate ability have a level in particular that you're throwing at it?
I think it does. I've only taken it once. I have a single counterspell, but I don't think it has levels.
It doesn't look like it does either. So right now you're looking for a 3 or better, but it's going to be on 2 dice because you're using magic. Is there anything you want to also throw at this?
Would would magical lore help?
Yes.
Yeah, I also have magical lore.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be a 2 or better on 2 dice.
2 dice?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the good news is that the 0 was not in the flux die.
Oh, good.
So, you try to reverse the spell that he is casting, and as you do this, you realize that you're not going to be able to necessarily grab hold of the ability. It seems like he is still fading out, but you're going to see something.
Oh boy.
And I'm going to draw a card real quick so that I can figure out what it is you see here. I think I drew the conspirators, didn't I? The conspirator. Yes, I did. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull that up. This is card number 13. And it is a defender. Let me go ahead and grab. I have so many things open right now. Conspirator. The conspirator keeps to the shadows, whispering with others like her. How many conspirators are there? Who is involved? We never know. Those hushed whispers in the right or wrong ears can tear us all apart, bringing us all crashing down. The conspirator is the defender of secrets. She guards them and the family they represent. It is her role to know the secrets and spread them as needed, whispering to just the right people at the right time. In divination, when this card is turned, only someone engaging in conspiratorial action looks at it as a good thing. For them, it means secrets are kept safe. For everyone else, this card means conspirators work or speak against you, or at the very least, that some surprising upheaval may be coming. So, for a moment, you can see where this circle he has hastily drawn leads. And as he disappears into it. And it's a little weird because it looks very much like the common room with the fountain in it of the party. Except everybody in there is dead. And I don't mean they're lying dead on the floor. And I don't mean that it's people you know, necessarily.
I'm full of zombies.
It's full of basically zombie-like people, or Walking Dead people like him and like the Duchess.
Good.
You see him appearing next to that, next to where the champagne fountain is, for just a split second as you're sort of peering through into trying to work it out, but then you lose the signal. It's this strange reflection of the party.
But he still left. I didn't stop him, right?
You did not stop him, unfortunately, no.
Did I end up spending sorcery?
It
didn't work.
Yeah, you weren't successful, so I don't think so. If I remember how that goes. I don't believe so. Yeah.
Well.
And she's like, oh no. This is the Duchess again.
I'm gonna turn to her and be like, so what was that about?
My brother is at large. So
Planning
it's
something?
quite possibly. I fear sometime soon none of us may be safe.
I'm not sure we were safe already, but that's good to know. I did see where he went. Is that useful information to you?
Perhaps.
Going to briefly describe the room / people.
Oh my goodness.
Is that bad?
A bit. I fear he's taken rather a bit of advantage of the fact that you're here and has linked things up to cast a reflection into the Pale. He's at the other eternal party. This could be a grave problem, as, let's just say, sometimes, you ever walk into a room and think, this place is rife with necromancers. Well...
No.
Well... let us hope you never have the opportunity, because it's that kind of party.
I did see it.
I think Shaw just has turned back and has looked at this whole interchange, and then I'm just gonna go and use my expansive endeavor and my physicality to move this block off of Mac.
So so you're doing this. You're like, and a large armored polar bear appears next to you. After Mac is sort of done drawing this, he's like, would you like some assistance?
Yes.
Yeah, very
yes.
good, very good. And he will sort of bend down and help sort of shove the shove this angel statue off of Mac.
Put down my hand that's not holding the scythe and offer it to Mac to help them up.
Mac will get up, accept the assistance with gratitude, and you'll see that there's actually an imprint of Mac's figure in the ground.
Nice.
Sprawled over as this I will admit is probably the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me since I've come back from the grave.
Really?
Yeah, it's up there with being locked in a trunk by Shaw's spirits in the mine.
I was gonna nurse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's up there.
I think that Isabel is going to just sort of be like looking around. It's like, please tell me, as she says, looking over over to Roshi, she says, please tell me things are set up where we can move the tether.
Yeah, is the answer to that question? This is me, Arras, asking if the answer to that question is yes. I think it is, but
according to what Mac has said, yes.
Yes!
Like,
pretty sure anyways.
Alright. I'll try to make sure. Alright, look, I can't get in the door, by the way. It's not going to let me in. It doesn't want to let me in.
Can
we fix that, please?
I'm gonna go over the door and I'm gonna, like, in a very scolding tone, be like, obviously you should let Isabel in.
Yeah, it's just sort of gesturing. She gestures to the to this small tomb at the back that she figured out where the door was, and the door's like, "All right, whatever you say," and Isabel's like, "All right, I'll make sure. I'll try to stay out here and make sure the connection holds for as long as you need it to until you get that done. Okay?" Shaking your head. The Duchess at this point will be sort of collecting herself, and she will look over at Shah. She'll say, "You know that you probably shouldn't be seen holding that."
Why? I think she looks pretty badass with it.
"Believe me, it's not a burden I think you wish. May I please have it back?"
Will you stop swinging it around like a crazy person?
Well, it seems the person I was going to use it on is no longer here.
If
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I haven't gone into the room yet, or like if I've started going, I'm gonna poke my head back and be like, it would be a lot worse if that thing had broken. Like, go back in.
Shakes her head.
Say,
Things may be much worse now. Sorry, go ahead.
any chance that thing works on void demons?
I pull it back a little bit. Valid question.
And she says, well, I couldn't possibly say.
Can we give it a shot?
If I give this back to you, and we need your help with a void demon, could we trust your support with that particular problem? Please, Your Grace. Curtsy.
She's now... A range of emotions are now going across the Duchess's face at this point.
We already weren't her favorite people. I feel like we're going real high up on the shit list right now.
I just want to say that I would consider a square if you were to promise this after you had, and he gestures at his imprint in the broken to gravestone.
Right. She just sort of looks back and forth, looks at the gravestone. She's like, "Oh my goodness!" And she looks over to the she goes over there and she looks down. She says, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, Lucretia," she says to it.
Oh, it wasn't even you she was sorry to.
And
Par for the course, really.
turn around. That's rather higher profile than I was hoping to be with that thing. But I'll tell you what, I can't believe I'm about to agree to this. I'll tell you what. If you wish to hold on to it, to make the attempt... Oh dear, this is going to get rather complicated. Right, here's the problem, all right? I also can't be seen wielding that thing.
Well,
There's going
who
to rather be
can
some serious
exactly?
I'm sorry? What'd you say?
Who can exactly?
She's just sort of, sheepishly just sort of be looking down at the ground. I sort of borrowed it.
Is this why people were trying to kill you on the train?
Possibly.
Your Grace, are you saying this is stolen goods?
I borrowed. I was going to return it. But it was rather necessary. It seemed to be the only item I was going to be able to dispatch Otto with. Now he's going to be out doing goodness knows what, trying to unspool the universe, probably.
Him too?
Mac just bangs his head on Shaw's metal shoulder. Just says, "Oh my God, it never ends."
Yes, same story, different problem.
I just wanted brunch, and
Everything keeps
instead we
happening
get
so
a death
much.
scythe and void demons and a oh God.
I look back at the exasperated Mac and turn to them and say, does it just seem strange to you that everybody wants to undo the nature of the universe? Like, everybody. Doesn't somebody want, I don't know, to steal a painting? I don't want...
Or just, a morning of Eggs Benedict and mimosas. What is wrong with this tree?
And, I will say that you have traveled with the Duchess long enough that you realize she might be exaggerating a little bit when she says that.
Right.
But then again, you also know not to just assume. Granted.
So your Grace, the scythe seems very unwieldy to sort of stay on the down low with. How did you travel with it on the down low?
Oh, you can fold it up.
Can I touch it?
That's a good
Stand by.
question.
That's a great question.
Recognizing that she is a dead person.
That's true. That's very
And
true.
I am, at least right now, not yet a dead person.
That is also true. She says, you should be able to. It is, yes, you should be able to. It's, you see, I've not seen it wielded for a considerable amount of time by anyone living. As far as I'm aware. Well, living is an interesting term for it. In any case, no, as long as you don't touch the blade. On the pointy end, on the sharp end.
Don't touch the pointy side.
Yes.
It's good advice for any night, really.
But
Shaw will fold it up.
Yeah, it's actually, you realize, you look at it for a few seconds and you realize, yes, and this is kind of magically aided, but there's, you can just click it closed, basically, where you just start clicking it from the bottom and the scythe will, the blade will like pop in, well, you kind of have to sort of ease from the back of the blade head, sort of ease it back in, and the whole thing clicks into place. It's just a series of turns where you fold it up at these joints that kind of appear as you do it, to the point that it becomes this little sort of thin, sort of kind of thick rod that's about that big.
Got it. And should we use it to stop a void demon? Is there someplace we should put it when we're done?
So here's the thing. I will surrender that to you, and if you well, here's the thing. Either, presuming you're able to stop this void demon, without drawing attention to the fact that you're wielding that scythe, then afterward, I'd need it back to deal with Otto. Unless you would like to deal with Otto, but that's entirely something that's not your responsibility.
No. I don't mind dealing with Otto. I need the practice.
Well, I mean, that's entirely... The main thing is Otto needs to be dealt with because he has rather unusual ambitions. And you see,
What
I
are his
thought
ambitions?
Well, I had always thought that he might unspool the universe by accident, if nothing else, but he's rather more of the domineering type. But as it is, he's, let's just say he had a rather pronounced interest in the way things are held together and making adjustments to that. But in any case, he rather has, shall we say, rather, difficult ambitions with he's the one who rather helped solidify that connection down to the, down in the cave, you see.
To the mushrooms?
Yes.
Oh, that is a dick move.
He is rather, he's rather, either there are a number of them who might be, shall we say, in his pocket. A number of individuals. Or it could be the other way around. He made all manner of deals with beings. It got rather ridiculous at one point. But in any case, no, he does need to be dealt with one way or the other, and it is my responsibility. So if you wish, simply after you deal with your void demon or whatever, if you return it, I can deal with it. But if you want
void
to
demon.
do that, that's perfectly. Oh, it's your void demon. Oh, that's very nice. Very good to have that specified.
Why would you admit to that? I mean, I feel like we should use this to deal with Otto first, just to make sure that, because if we break this,
it does seem like we have quite a bit on our plate right now with the Chantineau's void demon friend and
not quite friend.
Tethering the party and the cultists and.
That's true. But we can deal with it one-on-one. We'll tether the thing right now. It'll take 20 minutes.
Wondering if we shouldn't leave the Duchess her scythe so she can deal with Otto. But I mean, if you think we should go deal with Otto instead, I suppose that's fine. It just seems like we do have quite a substantial task list.
Yes. But just think of all the free brunch that we would have if we got this all done.
I'm not sure the Pale has good brunch.
I didn't say we were going to eat in the Pale.
Just going to put it on the Duchess's tab.
It's just that, maybe we should just go deal with Otto first because I think we can accomplish it faster. And, what if we break the scythe on the Void Demon?
Oh, that would be very unfortunate. I sincerely hope that wouldn't happen. I don't think it would. I doubt it would. But, who knows? I've not seen it used on void entities. Well, all right. If
Your Grace, maybe you should. Your Grace. A gesture for her to go ahead with what she was saying.
Well, if you're bound and determined to hold on to it, then all I ask is that, it was probably just as a word of advice, if you happen to be wielding it and you see a rather skeletal gentleman on a pale horse coming for you, run.
I feel like that's pretty good advice most of the time.
Shaw just looks at the scythe in her hand and she says, "Did you steal this from Death himself?"
And
borrow.
So, those of you here who have magical lore,
Oh boy.
or various, or some type of lore, or lores of the different suns, think she's talking about the Pale Rider, which is it's a spirit of death. So it's the spirit of death. Actually, Mac might have heard of this entity too because it's a spirit. It's a skeletal being. It's armed with this sort of legendary scythe that he uses to patrol and protect the borders of the Pale, to patrol the Pale and keep out those who don't, who shouldn't be there, and keep in those who should. Has a remarkable scythe capable of rendering, severely damaging people and rendering them silent. Perhaps
this is
abilities.
Also, this is Phil's scythe.
He does not like to be called that. You know that. I hope.
Oh. No, I feel as a member of the Goetica, I feel responsible for returning that scythe to its owner, who is a spirit.
And she just sort of bows her head. She says, "Will you help me deal with my brother?"
Yes.
All right, then. If you're bound and determined, you can return it after you've dealt with him. But I think you should need it. You shall need it after dealing with him.
Oh, I will.
You shall need it.
I will take good care of it.
Yeah. She shakes her head. Just sort of, and she kind of just sort of was going to lean against one of the tombs and just sort of shaking her head. And she's like, all right.
I turned to Mac. Are you sure we shouldn't just let her take care of this thing with her brother?
Mac is just going to lean in and whisper. I have another use for this scythe.
We'll take care of it, Your Grace. Don't worry.
Thank you.
We got you here on the train without having you be murdered.
I do appreciate it. Maybe perhaps after you've done whatever you've done, it'll be possible for me to actually go back inside the house.
Yes, we're going to go take that now.
And the one other thing I will mention, as you are presumably now heading in the direction of the observatory to try to fix the situation in some fashion, I will mention one thing, and that is to Shantano. And that is that this scythe, now that you've had an opportunity to see it up close, bears a resemblance. It is not the exact same one, but it bears a kind of a strong resemblance to the one that you saw first wielded by Murder. When they were in their glass containment, when they were in the menagerie.
Interesting.
And I think as you all step back toward the observatory to try to deal with the tether. I think that is where we are going to bring this one to a close, if we are good with that. And then we shall see. Of course, delightfully, we'll see. Hopefully next time, whoever needs to be present to deal with it will be able to be present. But we'll see how it goes. Life being what it is. But excellent. So that's progress. And then actually, come to think of it, if no one else, Isabel can help do it. So that'll be fine. All right. So that I think is where we shall leave off for this week. Let's go ahead and go around and do Joy and Despair. This is in addition to the GM shift, any GM shifting that I did today. But I suddenly decided to do today. So we're going to go once again back around through and start with Djinnaya. Do you believe that Shaw has received any joy or any despair today?
I don't think so. Not really. I mean, if anything, she got a despair for having to remember about the clock monster, but she already got a despair for that. So
yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
that's fair. All right, and now Wilde. Do you think that Shantano got any joy or any despair today?
Yeah, either. I'm almost close to showing them that the demon was going to escape either way, but it didn't happen yet.
I'm sorry. So you think that it could have been either way?
I don't think I got any joy.
Oh, okay. You don't think you got neither. Okay. Well, yeah, because there was, things. This was a heavy discussion episode and catching up episode, I think, by and large. A lot of folks. So that works. And over to Arras. Do you think that Arushka got any joy or despair today?
No, I don't think so. I think most of the things she has to be sad about, she already got despair over.
That's fair. That's very fair. So much sadness. And finally, Anino, do we think Mac got any joy or despair today?
Well, he got that one despair earlier.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to say he would get a joy because now he has a weapon that he thinks could take down Dark-Eyed Manfred.
Oh, possibly, yeah. Or the group does, rather. Shaw currently possesses the weapon. But I'm sure you'll get a hold of it if you so desire.
You'll want to practice with it.
All right. Cool. Then you get a joy. All right. We're now going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you and any final thoughts you have about this session. We shall start Wednesday. We're doing reverse order, so we're starting back again with Anino.
This is so weird. Everybody's making me go first this week. Hey everyone, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Apart from this show, possibly, there isn't a whole lot scheduled for this month. There might be some pop-ups here and there. But for the most part, we're going to take it easy and catch up on sleep and gaming. So be sure to tune into those spaces and see what's up.
I heard about sleep once. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But anyway, as far as this episode goes, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a discord now within the group over the certain ways that encounters with void demons might have gone down.
I can't imagine what you might be talking about.
Yeah.
A mystery.
It's a mystery. It's possible. It's entirely possible. Yeah, we'll see kind of how this shakes out. But let us know. Head over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras. I'm Anna Panther practically everywhere on the internet. The only place you can catch me gaming right now, this has been true for a long time, is right here on Saturdays playing Invisible Sun. Yeah. I'm a real life zoologist. As of last Thursday, I have mastered the science of biology.
Yay!
I successfully defended my professional project, which is like a thesis, but not. And I love to talk about zoology or biology and animals or cosplay and gaming and all that great stuff. I also have like a whole bunch of jewelry that I just made recently for sale. So if you're looking for Christmas presents. And then finally, Black Lilac Productions, which is my podcast group. I don't really know how to describe it. We're currently taking pitches for new shows. So if you've got an idea for a podcast, hit us up. As for the game this week, so many things happened in such a short period of time. Just overwhelmed. Oh boy. So many things to do now.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay. It's not a bad overwhelmed.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it seems the task list just keeps increasing. I don't understand how it happens, but it just sort of does.
People keep wanting to rely on us to do things.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. I mean, you had an out. You could have just given her the scythe back, but...
I don't think I was technically present for that conversation because I went into the crypt like a while ago.
That's true. You've been dealing with the crypt, so we gotta figure that out also. We shall very soon. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see all these plates being juggled. And now over to Wilde.
Oh, yes, hello, I'm Wilde. Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. I think right now this is the only place where you can catch me online. Yeah. I think Chantino definitely thinks they did the right thing, considering the circumstances, so they just need to convince everyone else that that's exactly what happened. I mean, at the same time, it's Chantino, so.
Oh, yeah. We shall have to see how that goes. Oh, my God.
I mean, just because I may have doomed the world doesn't mean I didn't save the group.
That's fair. That's fair. You did the group a favor. Oh my God. But then finally, let us head over to Djinnaya.
Hi, my name's Djinnaya, and you can find me at Djinnaya everywhere on the internet, but not really very much right now because I'm trying to hide from the internet during the month of December.
Oh boy.
Yeah, wow. This game. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what happens next. I am overwhelmed by our task list. I think this group needs a program manager really bad. And it's none of us have that skill. But also it was a good game tonight. I liked all the sort of squishy emotional stuff. I think it occurred to Shaw for the first time that, she came to realize that we all knew each other from before, and it was this feeling of, oh, well, we all must just belong together. And now she's getting this idea of, we should probably go back through somebody's memories and make sure we were all on the same side.
Well, we have all of my memories in a giant barrel.
It's true. It's true. We do. So
I'm pretty sure we were not all on Aroshka's side at the.
I'm not sure anybody was on my side. I'm pretty sure I was on nobody's side. I was on the me side.
Aroshka was on Aroshka's side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll have to see how this goes because this is very interesting. This is very interesting. But that being the case, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out, really, because it's just fascinating to see as more gets uncovered and more things are happening in the universe. We can kind of see how everything unfolds. So I'm very, very happy to be running this. You folks are freaking awesome, and I think this is going to be really, really cool as we move forward. But as for me, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. Right now, the only RPG stream on this channel is this one, which we do Saturday nights. Yes, unfortunately, due to real life, we had to discontinue Sunken, sadly. So right now we've just got this, but more stuff will be coming. To wit, I have signups open right now for a one-shot I'm going to be running on Boxing Day, December 26th, for folks who are sort of lingering about after Christmas and want something to do. It is To Serve Her Wintry Hunger. It is a game that I ran once back, I think in 2019, in the winter. And it's a story game in which four mischievous and indeed dark and cruel spirits of winter are hunting down a human who has strayed into the territory of the Lady of Winter, and into her forest. And so it's I just wanted to give that game another spin, as it was a lot of fun the first time. And so signups are open for that through Wednesday, the 8th. So if folks want to sign up for that, and to sign up to have an opportunity to possibly play that, I will. I'm not going to go through the list of folks who signed up until after the 8th. So we'll see. But you just go down. You can go down and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on Game Sign Up. As always, beginners are welcome. Well, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and send a raid over to Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy, because they are playing their Aliens campaign, which is freaking awesome, run by Travis. We're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.